Ever since the semester started all the way back in August, like 4 to 5 weeks ago, there's been one recurring thought that's been in the back of my mind ever since. And that one question is if I'm even going to survive doing online classes, if I'm even built to do online classes. And I can say this with no hesitation that I am truly struggling in taking online classes this semester. Every time that I say that, I just question myself on like why I'm even struggling in the first place. I mean, by looking at my grades right now, you may say to the naked eye that, hey, you're actually doing well. You have all straight A's right now, but that's not even the point because like I just feel that I'm not really engaging in the content that I'm actually learning and paying for, and I think that right there pretty much makes a significant difference in pretty much your college education. I just feel that I'm getting cheated out of like my money that's being paid like into like my tuition and everything, and that just leads me to like have like a lot of questions and have a whole lot of confusion on like if online schooling is going to be right for me considering of like the ongoing circumstances of COVID. One of the main reasons why I'm truly struggling and doing well in online classes is that I literally have no self-discipline. I mean, I'm literally in my room all day. I literally watch the TV, and even if I'm trying to be proactive on my laptop, I usually just log onto like social media or like watch like YouTube videos just to pretty much pass time. But that time that I'm pretty much procrastinating myself could have been useful time in like basically learning or like watching videos about like science or like whatnot, to pretty much like further my knowledge of my college education. And I just feel that by being in my sanctuary, being in my room, school and home do not mix. It's pretty much like a disaster waiting to happen. And after 4 to 5 weeks later, a disaster has definitely happened. Like, I literally have no self-discipline to pretty much be focused on school, considering that I'm literally distracted by my room, as everything in my room is so distracting. And to carry on to my next point, the second reason on like why I struggle so much is that, like I said before, that I literally get distracted so easily. Like, personally for me, I pretty much have like the attention span of a squirrel. Like, literally, like if I see something cool like on social media while trying to pretty much like type up a discussion post, which I really hate, I just pretty much like focus on like what's ever like showing up rather than focusing on the actual work. And I think that right there is a big problem that I need to improve. But literally, like I said before, being distracted by like literally everything in my room just makes learning and pretty much like trying to be proactive like in not only school but like in other endeavors is going to be really challenging for me. And it's just so hard to basically separate from home and work and school all clumped into one big setting, being in your room. It's just not right. It's just totally out of the norm. I mean, I think saying that everything's out of the norm is probably the perfect representation to describe 2020 so far. Another reason why I pretty much struggle so far in pretty much doing well in online classes is that pretty much I procrastinate literally everything to like the last minute. I mean, one time I watched an accounting Panopto lecture literally at 9 o'clock at nighttime, either on a Friday night or Saturday night. So obviously you guys know that my time management skills are pretty bad considering that. And one thing that I do want to say to myself, because I don't want to sound a hypocrite, because even if COVID never existed, I would still procrastinate to the very last minute, because pretty much ever since I went to college, I literally like weighted every single test and literally every single paper to the dot to 11:59 p.m. And that right there is something that I really need to adjust, because honestly for me, procrastinating is just a force of habit. And not to mention that if I procrastinate, I pretty much have like more energy just to pretty much like focus rather than like editing and like fixing something, because like by procrastinating everything, you just go along with the flow. If you make a grammar mistake, just go on. You gotta finish this, you gotta turn it in on the dot. You just gotta do what you gotta do. And that right there is a horrible mindset if you ask me. So I think that right there of like my procrastination habits have pretty much translated to me on like why I'm struggling struggling so much in these online classes so far. And another reason that I can think about is that I really don't like reach out for like help from like my professors. I mean, like, I know that like the majority of professors out there are struggling as much as we are as students and people as general, but I just think that like basically going to virtual office hours is just pretty weird. I mean, I don't mind going to office hours in persons as there's more people, but if you're literally in a server with just you and like whether it's your professor or TA, that's going to be pretty awkward considering that you two are going to be like on your own. And honestly, I think that right there just gives me so much anxiety because I don't mind like office hours in person like I said, but doing it virtually kind of like raises like my heartbeat to go really really fast. And I just think that like my anxiety levels would just go off the limit of like what happens if I have like internet connections, like what happens if I sound stupid like over the webcam. It's just a lot of overthinking that happens, which pretty much leads me to like never reach out to my professors. But on the other hand, I have been reaching out to like other students and pretty much in my classes so far that have helped me so far, so it pretty much cancels out. But I feel like that by asking and seeking help from like my professors and TAs can pretty much like enhance my learning experience through online school. But like I said, it's just pretty much like out of the norm, if I must be quite honest. And the last thing that I can honestly truly say is that honestly I have like no motivation whatsoever. I mean, literally within these past 4 to 5 weeks, I literally have like no desire and like no willpower to actually strive and do the work. It just feels so frustrating to know that literally this has to happen so far. I mean, who would have ever thought that back in December 2019 that all of this would have happened? Like literally, I'm starting to hate school more than ever. Like I don't know what's going to happen like in the future. Like hopefully a vaccine is going to happen, or maybe I'm never going back to like have like a normal college experience ever again with like basically interacting with classmates, going to sporting events, just everything. Like all of that just pretty much dismantled ever since online schooling happened. And I can honestly say that everything that I've said so far has pretty much like lowered like my motivation in doing well in school. Like I really want to do well for school, but at this point, like, do I even care anymore? I mean, at the back of my mind, yes, I care, but at the same time, like, what's the purpose? I mean, I just feel like that I'm not getting like the proper education and like everything that's happening so far. So those are just pretty much like my thoughts. If any of you guys have thoughts about pretty much like your online school experience, it would be great if you guys commented down below, and I would love to like see your guys' experiences, if you guys like pretty much can like relate to me like to some extent, or if you guys completely agree, or if you guys are loving online schooling. And as an introvert, I should like this format of schooling, but honestly within like these 4 to 5 weeks I'm over it. I just feel like that I'm not getting like the proper education that I'm getting by doing online schooling. And honestly, with that said, everybody, that's just pretty much like my TED talk for the day, and like of why I hate online schooling. But hopefully everything goes back to normal really soon. And with that said, everybody, if you guys enjoyed this video, it would mean so much to me if you guys did leave a like, comment down below, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel, as it will definitely help out with the growth of the channel. And with that said, everybody, hopefully you guys have a great day, stay safe, and most importantly, I'll see you guys in my next one. Take care.